All right, Sunshine House. So, as promised, here's the book, Those Shoes by Mary Beth Belt. As I read, I'm going to kind of stop and think to myself. I'm trying to make connections. I'm trying to make predictions. I'm trying to just think, and I want to show you how I'm thinking as I read. Those shoes. I have dreams about those shoes. Black high tops, two white stripes. Never done a read aloud on this thing, so bear with me. Uh, Grandma, I want them. There's no room for want around here, just need, Grandma says. And what you need are new boots for winter. Hmm. So I'm thinking that kind of reminds me of my family and what my parents would have said, like, you're not getting those shoes, but you're going to get what you need. So I'm making a connection. Brandon T comes to school in those shoes. He says he's the fastest runner now, not me. I was always the fastest before those shoes came along. Nate comes to school in those shoes. Antonio and I count how many times Nate goes to the bathroom. 7 times in one day, just so he can walk up and down the hall real slow. So I'm thinking Nate's kind of arrogant. Nate's kind of snotty because he thinks he's so cool to have those shoes. Next, Alan Jacoby and Terrence each get a pair. Ugh. So now I'm thinking these shoes must be pretty, ouch, popular. And I'm feeling that Jeremy, the main character, is starting to feel left out. Next page. Then one day in the middle of kickball, one of my shoes comes apart. Looks like you could use a new pair, Jeremy, Mr. Elfrey, the guidance counselor, says. He brings out a box of shoes and other stuff he has for kids who need things. He helps me find the only shoes that are my size. Velcro. Like the ones my little cousin Marshall wears. They have an animal on them from a cartoon I don't think any kid ever watched. Oh. So I'm also thinking Jeremy is probably feeling really embarrassed right now because heck, his shoes broke at school, and now an adult at school is saying, looks like you need shoes. I'm sure he knows he needs shoes, new shoes. So he might be feeling a little embarrassed. Oh gosh. Oh no. When I come back to the classroom, Alan Jacoby takes one look at my Mr. Elfrey shoes and laughs. And so do Terrence, Brandon T, and everyone else. The only kid not laughing is Antonio Parker. So now I'm wondering, why isn't Antonio laughing? I wonder if they have some kind of connection. Or maybe what kind of kid is Antonio? I'm wondering if is he just really nice? Is he sensitive? Or maybe he's kind of like Jeremy. At home, Grandma says, "How kind of Mr. Elfrey." I nod and turn my back. I'm not going to cry about any dumb shoes. But when I'm writing my spelling words later, every word looks like the word shoes, and my grip is so tight on my pencil I think it might bust. So now I'm noticing that Jeremy is feeling sad because he wanted to cry, and now he's being angry. I can tell because of the way he's gripping his pencil so tight. On Saturday, Grandma says, "Let's check out those shoes you're wanting so much." I got a little bit of money set aside. Might be enough. You never know. At the shoe store, Grandma turns those shoes over so she can check the price. When she sees it, she sits down heavy. Maybe they wrote it down wrong, I say. Grandma shakes her head. I notice that Grandma sits down heavy after she looks at the price tag, so I'm guessing that it's way too expensive, not the little bit of money she saved. Oh boy. All right. Then I remember the thrift shops. What if there's a rich kid who outgrew his or got two pairs for Christmas and had to give one of them away? We ride the bus to the first thrift shop. Black cowboy boots, pink slippers, sandals, high heels, every kind of shoe except the ones I want. We ride the bus to the second thrift shop. Not a pair of those shoes in sight. Around the corner is the third thrift shop. I see something in the window. Man, this kid has um, a lot of persistence, right? He isn't wanting to give up. He wants to keep trying. So I'm noticing that about Jeremy. He's also very hopeful. Black shoes with two white stripes, high tops, perfect shape, $2.50. Those shoes. Okay, so I'm feeling a little hopeful right now. My heart is pounding hard as I take off my shoes and hitch up my baggy socks. How exciting, Grandma says. What size are they? I shove my foot into the first shoe, curling my toes to get my heel in. I don't know, but I think they fit. I don't know about you, but curling my toes into shoes doesn't seem like they're going to fit very well. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking he's so desperate, he's going to try and make them fit. Grandma kneels on the floor and feels for my toes at the end of my shoe. Oh, Jeremy, she says, I can't spend good money on shoes that don't fit. I'm making a connection. Sounds like something my mother would say. I pull the other shoe on and try to walk around. They're okay, I say, holding my breath and praying that my toes will fall off right then and there. But my toes don't fall off. I buy them anyway with my own money and I squeeze them on and limp to the bus stop. Okay, I'm just going to make a prediction. So that's part of thinking that he's not going to make it too long in those shoes because he's going to end up with some monster blisters. We'll see. At home, a few days later, Grandma puts a new pair of snow boots in my closet and doesn't say a word about my two big feet shuffling around in my two small shoes. Sometimes shoes stretch, I say. Grandma gives me a hug. I think he's wishful thinking. I don't think those shoes are going to stretch. I check every day, but those shoes don't stretch. I have to wear Mr. Elfrey's to school instead. One day during math, I glance at Antonio's shoes. One of them is taped up and his feet look smaller than mine. After school, I head to the park to think. Antonio is there, the only kid who didn't laugh at my Mr. Elfrey's shoes. Okay, now it's all making sense, right? So I'm thinking back to when Antonio wasn't laughing at Jeremy, and now I know why. He's in the same predicament. He's got shoes that are taped up. And his feet look smaller than Jeremy's, and Jeremy has those dang shoes that are too small for him. So he goes to the park to think. So I'm wondering if Jeremy might think about giving up those shoes that don't fit him. We shoot baskets. A loose piece of tape on Antonio's shoes smacks the concrete every time he jumps. I think, I'm not going to do it. We leap off the swings. I'm not going to do it. We race from one end of the playground to the other. I'm not going to do it, I say. Do what? Antonio says, breathing hard. So I'm wondering, what is he saying? I'm not going to do it. What is he not going to do? And he keeps saying it over and over. What's he not going to do? Grandma calls me for supper and invites Antonio over too. After supper, he spies my shoes. How come you don't wear them? Antonio asks. I shrug. My hands are sweaty. I can feel him wishing those shoes were his. So now I'm thinking, Jeremy, those shoes don't fit. I'm hoping that what he was thinking is that he should give those shoes away. So we'll see. That night, I'm awake for a long time thinking about Antonio. When morning comes, I try on my shoes one last time. All right, I know what he's going to do. Do you know? Predict with me. Before I can change my mind, the shoes are in my coat. Snow is beginning to fall as I run across the street to Antonio's apartment. I put the shoes in front of his door, push the doorbell, and run. Yay! So I'm making a mental note here that Jeremy is so kind, so generous. These are character traits of Jeremy that I'm trying to keep track of. At school, Antonio is smiling big in his brand new shoes. I feel happy when I look at his face and mad when I look at my Mr. Elfrey's shoes. Ooh, so I get it. I'm thinking Jeremy is so human. You know, he wants those new shoes for himself but doesn't have it. And so he can feel a little jealousy there, anger. But later, when it's time for recess, something happens. Everywhere there is snow. Leave your shoes in the hall and change into your boots, the teacher announces. Leave your shoes in the hall. It's then I remember what I have in my backpack. New boots, new black boots that no kid has ever worn before. Standing in line to go to recess, Antonio leans forward and says, "Thanks." I smile and give him a nudge. Let's race. So, as I finish reading that book, I'm just keeping track of my thinking. I'm wondering, I'm predicting, I'm making connections to any character that's in there, not just Jeremy, but Antonio. Um, and I'm noticing how the other characters are interacting with the main character. So I do a lot of thinking. Again, um, as you read today and always, you should also be keeping track of your thinking. So if that's done with a sticky note and you put it right down in the page where you were making that thought or wonder or prediction, it's a way that is keeping track of what you are thinking so that we can go back in and talk about it um, and we can expand upon how we do as readers. So I hope you enjoyed that read aloud. Tomorrow I will post another read aloud and show you further practicing with how we can do that with our own reading.